It's a game with massive significance for the bottom of the table in the National Premier League's Queensland as Brisbane City host North Queensland United in round 24. Welcome to a very sunny and quite blustery corporate travel management stadium here in Brisbane's inner north. And we're expecting quite an intense match from the visitors in particular, who will be fighting for their lives in the National Premier League's Queensland. They're currently in 13th spot on the ladder after Redlands United's surprise victory over the Magpies Crusaders at Cleveland Showgrounds last night. That, of course, came off the back of quite a comprehensive defeat at the hands of our visitors today, Redlands United, North Queensland. 5-1 the score last week up at Brolga Park. They'll be looking to take that form into this match, although it is a team without a number of big names. Jay Urell, Corey Wapers, Gerald Green, Darren Walker, all missing today. And for a team that has struggled to score goals this season, the absence of all that goal-scoring talent could be quite problematic for the team in red, who you can see to our left. Of course, none of this would be possible without our sponsors, and Brisbane City would like to thank Corporate Travel Management and Harcourt Solutions for all their assistance over the course of the season. As we see the Brisbane City team, no real surprises, just one absentee, Alex Fechner. He has suffered a dislocated shoulder last week at Olympic. He is out for the rest of the season. North Queensland, a couple of changes, but the real notable inclusion is Paul Kohler. Very important player, of course, has vast experience in the Hyundai A-League as well as in the old National Soccer League. He's really shored up the defence for the visitors, who will be playing in red and will get us underway very shortly when our Total Tools referee, Anton Sechinin, gets things underway. As he does so, North Queensland United kicking from left to right against Brisbane City in their change strip of dark blue. And it's well kept in there by Matt Richards. Scored a hat-trick last week. And that comprehensive victory over fellow strugglers Redlands United. Some might have thought that would have been terminal for the Cleveland-based club, but they have shown signs of life against fellow strugglers Magpies Crusaders yesterday, as we've already mentioned, and a very significant win that. Drags Magpies, who are in 10th spot on 25 points, back into the dogfight at the bottom, and there's still plenty to play for down there to avoid the drop to the Football Queensland Premier League. It'll be an interesting couple of rounds. Mark Stewart makes a little bit of a hash of that pass back to Jake Clancy, but it gets launched back upfield, and the move once again breaks down from North Queensland United, and that's Samson Batuara, who tried to lay the ball off to Nathan Bird. Reece Raymond battling. He's made his return. Here's a good opportunity for Kai Bolton, recalled to the side today. Kai Bolton with the shot, and it was well saved by Will Smith. Vastly experienced keeper, struggling a little bit with the sun. It's setting low to our right-hand side here at Corporate Travel Management Stadium, and has opted not to go for a cap, although that might have been an oversight due to a rather rushed departure from Townsville today. The North Queensland United team travelled down today. They've pretty much arrived at the stadium straight from the airport and will travel straight to the airport after the full-time whistle blows today. Here's Kai Bolton again down the right-hand side for City. And it's cleared away by the experienced Paul Kohler. Now North Queensland will look to build. It's a rush departure. That's good pressure from Kai Bolton onto Preston Hugo, who was excellent in defeats last week against Olympic. A 4-2 defeat City suffered at the hands of Olympic, who won at Perry Park last night by 2-1. Christian Waters continuing his sensational goal-scoring form against the erstwhile champions of Queensland. They've made the finals in 14 straight years, have strikers, and it's fairly safe to say that will not be happening this time around, although there is still a possibility, however faint, and they'll be clinging to that. Well, in Baker's side, Kai Bolton can't quite keep that one in. It's another goal kick, fairly even start here in the National Premier League's Queensland. Let us know where you're watching from on the Football Queensland Facebook page, or indeed in the comments on the YouTube page. Picked up there by Bird, and here's Adam Edgar. Edgar to Bird, well, Edgar was offside, flag goes up. Not quite sure he completely agrees with the decision, but it was nice link-up play. It was good break-up there from Tristan Hugo. Picked up the ball in the midfield, starting today after being left on the bench last week. You already see Dan Wilsmith struggling with the sun, and a couple of other players putting their hands up to their brows. So that ball goes airborne in the direction of Colquhoun. Colquhoun doing very well on Colquhoun. Let's get the shot away. It was fairly easily gathered by Clancy. He'll play the ball out to Mark Stewart. Good ball by Stewart down the left-hand side to Nathan Beagley. Beagley, a little bit fortunate perhaps there, Beagley, but he's disrupted just enough by Matt Miller, but it's good work from Beagley, although he does concede a free kick in trying to win that ball back off Matt Richards. Richards was man of the match last week for North Queensland, as you'd expect, by scoring a hat-trick, giving his total for the season at 6. Over half his goals in one game. He's actually been going up incrementally as ball does fall here. It's still bouncing around there for Waters, and that'll be Tristan Hugo who gets the ball out to Kai Bolton, and Kai Bolton's going to square up Hamish Cassidy, and he's going to go round Hamish Cassidy, who gets a big fistful of Kai Bolton's arm, and there might be a word being spoken in the ear of Hamish Cassidy here by Anton Sechin. It was just a word. Here's Mark Stewart. Tristan Hugo to Tom Alton, and now on to Mark Stewart. City happy to retain possession here. Passing the ball around at the back. Raymond. Bolton might squeeze through to Preston Hugo, though it was mopped up by Edwards. And now it'll be the visitors who will look to build from the back. Here's Linning. Linning looking for an option. He's closed down by Hugo, and then the through ball by Nathan Bird. He's in the vague direction of Adam Edgar, and Edgar wasn't quite ready for it and aware or alert enough to get the ball under control. So North Queensland again will look to clear. It's going to come straight back. Although Tristan Hugo's caught in possession there and needs some support from Sam Sibatuara. He gets back on the ball again and sells Sibatuara short. It's fine, thanks for helping him out just a few moments ago. Here's Richards. Edwards. Edwards closed down by Edgar. Just about gets away with it. Fig goes back to Will Smith. And Will Smith helps that one out for a throw-in over on that far side. 0-0 the score here. A couple of scores from around the grounds yesterday. We've already mentioned that Olympic won at Parry Park over Strikers by 2-1 as Preston Hugo plays the ball through towards Edgar. The flag goes up belatedly. Looked tight. The assistant referee was ideally placed. Lions continued their march at the top of the table yesterday, up in Cairns, running out 6-0 winners. Quasi with a hat-trick. Carlos with 2, and then Marek Madley getting his customary goal in the orange. Western Pride suffered a bit of a scare down in Logan. They went behind to a Chris Morrissey goal after just 6 minutes. Adam Edgar almost chases down Will Smith there. Attacking throw-in for City. Pride were able to respond with 5 unanswered goals to run out 5-1 winners at that one. Only one result to bring you so far on Sunday, and it was Sunshine Coast 1, South West Queensland Thunder 2, so vital 3 points for the Thunder, who ease their relegation woes. It's a lovely turn from Beagley. Beagley puts the ball in towards the back post. Bird was there but chose to leave it for Kai Bolton, and then that ball's going to end up in the creek, I think. No, it stays in the boundaries of the stadium at least. It'll be a throw-in for City. Here's Tristan Hugo. Bird looks for an option, doesn't have one. The runners all went beyond him, and he's played into a little spot of bother there. Linning was putting the pressure on, but City retain possession through Stewart and Alton. Now Alton will take it forward. Now Rhys Raymond goes. He goes further ahead, though, towards Preston Hugo. Preston Hugo back inside. Edgar with the air swing. Preston Hugo 1-0 Brisbane City. It's a fine finish. It certainly wasn't intentional, you wouldn't have thought, from Adam Edgar, but it's worked out quite well for Brisbane City. Preston Hugo scored 3 in his last 5 games. Make that 4 in his last 6. It's an excellent finish. And just 10 minutes into this game, it's Brisbane City who lead by a 1-0, and North Queensland have an uphill battle ahead of them. Here's Linning, hoping to make the gradient a little bit less steep, although playing balls like that, he might have hoped for a bit of a gradient. Went all the way too quickly through to Jake Clancy. And now Mark Stewart will build the ball forward. Beagley's made a run down the line, and that's another lovely ball by Stewart towards Beagley. Beagley gets to the byline, crosses inside, doesn't beat the first defender though. Sam Sibatuara though making a nuisance of himself, and City continuing to press in this attacking position. That's excellent work though from North Queensland to get the ball away, but slightly loose pass from Kyron Waters. And City will once again build from the back. Here's Tristan Hugo playing in the spot normally occupied by Scott Halliday, who's on the bench. Tristan Hugo offers slightly different, a little bit more robust in the centre of the park, just in front of the back 4, but no less effective with the ball at his feet, and he's proven adept at that so far in this game, albeit in its early stages. Here's his brother Preston Hugo. Plays the ball into open space to Nathan Bird. Bird has Beagley on the outside. Beagley back inside to Bird. Beagley gets it back. Sibatuara wanted that one, but it was cut out before it got to him by Edwards. Still there for Sibatuara though. That's excellent work from the City right-sided attacker. Now over onto the other side with Kai Bolton. It's a throw into City, which will be taken by Rhys Raymond. He wants an option. Kai Bolton doesn't seem too interested, but he's in space and receives it anyway. I guess that taken off his foot, and it's a rather disappointing end to that attacking move for Brisbane City over on that far side. The under-20s game today. Brisbane City took on their great rivals Lions, and it was a match that didn't disappoint, particularly from a Brisbane City perspective, running out 4-1 winners. There was plenty of physicality in it and a little bit of niggle as well. Solid collision there between Nathan Beagley and Matt Miller. 21-year-old putting the 18-year-old on his backside. Here is Miller, the elder of the two combatants in that instance. Playing the ball over towards that far side. Rhys Raymond heads it out for a corner kick. Good attacking opportunity here for North Queensland to strike right back. Kyron Waters going over to take the corner kick. City will need to be aware here. towards the back post is Fig. It won't get to the back post, it barely got to the front post. It was cut out by Preston Hugo. And here's Adam Edgar. Adam Edgar turns, has a lot of space. There's a bit of a nothing pass though. Kai Bolton was closest in the end, but it was in between both he and Sam Sibatuara racing forward, and it's another disappointing move breaking down for Brisbane City. Won't be too concerned as of yet though. Brisbane City are leading by a goal to nil. Preston Hugo getting it in the 10th minute of the game. A tussle there. Tom Alton coming out on top against Kyron Waters. Preston Hugo rides a challenge, now plays the ball through to Adam Edgar, who's onside. Edgar is challenged by Linning, forced to go backwards to Kai Bolton. Bolton to Hugo. Hugo cross to Bird. Lovely dummy by Bird to Beagley. Beagley back inside. Corner kick, Brisbane City. Excellent movement up front, particularly down this left-hand side for Brisbane City. Nathan Beagley's causing all sorts of problems going forward. And another opportunity from a set play. This time Sam Sibatuara will put it in. Goes short to Bolton. Bolton puts it deep. It's headed back inside by Hugo. Edgar's there. Tough angle. Then Tristan Hugo wins another corner for Brisbane City. Over on the far side this time, it'll be Kai Bolton who trots over to take that one. Sam Sibatuara also fancies it, so perhaps we'll see another short delivery. Edgar wants it, he's around the centre circle. Preston Hugo is tussling a little with Paul Kohler. Been told to keep his hands to himself. It's a low corner, it almost found its way through to Adam Edgar there, but he wasn't alert to it. And here's Sibatuara now, it's come straight back to him. Beagley was waiting in the middle, but it never found its way through to him. Here's Kai Bolton. Reece Raymond on the outside, has time to pick his spot, picks it brilliantly onto the head of Edgar. Didn't get a touch, Sibatuara hacks it in. Adam Edgar was there, and now that one's hooked behind rather spectacularly by Hamish Cassidy. It will be another corner for Brisbane City. I can't think that was entirely due to the breeze, but it won't have helped. The breeze is blowing from right to left as we look at it here on your screens. A short corner now, Sibatuara to the edge of the box and Bird. Bird back to Sibatuara, who's offside, flag up. Nice idea from Brisbane City. Look like they're having a lot of fun up there in attacking positions so far today. It is, they lead by a goal to nil. Preston Hugo getting the opener after just 10 minutes, and need remind nobody that a defeat here for North Queensland plunges them ever deeper into the relegation mire. Makes it still a four-horse race, if that's the right terminology. Yes, that's a bit of an error from Miller, allowing Beagley to come through. Beagley plays it into Edgar, a little bit too far ahead of him. Another nice idea and another impressive piece of attacking play from Nathan Beagley. Playing just his 12th game of the season for Brisbane City is Nathan Beagley. He's been in and out the side a little, a couple of times due to injury. Been very impressive so far, and he was impressive last week. Impressive in delivering the ball in our last live stream game here from Corporate Travel Management Stadium against Brisbane Strikers. It's just Mark Stewart and Jake Clancy playing the ball amongst themselves over on the near side now, and then Stewart can't get that through to Nathan Beagley, and it'll be a throw-in to the visitors. Miller, who's been through the old Northern Fury development structure before returning to the local Brothers Club, playing locally. Looked like it came off Nathan Beagley last, despite his protestations. It was Well seen by Karen Richards on this near side. Via Nikopoulos to Miller. Miller with the cross. It's a teasing one on the edge of the area, but a little bit untidy from Waters, and an opportunity now for Kai Bolton to stretch his legs. It was well cut out by Robin Edwards, and the throw in for North Queensland over on that far side. Edwards gets it back and then plays the ball straight into the path of Kai Bolton, and City will attack. Tristan Hugo dallies on the ball a little bit, but cuts back inside and finds his centre back, Tom Alton. The more you see it, the more you think that the breeze must be playing a little bit of a part today. The ball is getting caught by it on a couple of occasions. Bolton back to Alton. Bolton gets caught in possession there by Linning. Linning goes forward to teammate, wins a free kick. There's Nikopoulos. It's a sensible free kick to give away because Kyron Waters was on a rampage through the middle. Nikopoulos managed to slide the ball through. City could have been in a little bit of trouble. One-on-one with Jake Clancy, who has been prone to racing out on a couple of occasions so far this season. Won't have to race anywhere to gather that ball. Went straight into the breadbasket, and he'll deliver the ball out quickly to Nathan Bird and Sibatuara on this near side. Sibatuara to Edgar. Edgar cuts back inside. He wanted Sibatuara to make something of a better run. There's a little bit of a disagreement between the pair. Ahead of play as City play the ball around at the back. Here's Alton looking for a long ball towards Edgar. It's a nice ball towards Edgar, who was offside. Getting increasingly frustrated with the decisions of the assistant referee over on that far side, Max Crane, and he's going to earn himself a little bit of a talking to by Anton Chetinin. Anton Chetinin telling me that it's the first time he's refereed a game here at Corporate Travel Management Stadium for at least 2 years. Hasn't had too much to do so far, but just a little bit of a talking to there for former Olympic man Adam Edgar. Ball really holding up in the breeze there. Starting to play a real factor here. Of course, it will be in favour of North Queensland in the second half, but Brisbane City will be hoping that the game will be beyond their visitors by then. Hugo. That's better from Edgar. He's onside. He was played on by Matt Miller. Back across, and it's just behind Sibatuara, or it would have been had it ever allowed to get there. It's good defence from North Queensland United, and they'll look to attack now from Colquhoun. Colquhoun receives it back. He plays it back wide to Cassidy, but it was too far ahead of him, and the ball has run out of play. It was a promising position for North Queensland. They've managed to cause a couple of problems in the middle third for City, but as of yet, nothing in the attacking third, and that's where it most counts. This could change now, though, and advantage was being played by our Total Tools officiating team, and it is a free kick. Another opportunity to get the ball into the box. Players matching up. Just a two-man wall for City. Hugo and Bolton in it. So decent delivery, but just too far over the head of Robin Edwards. Ball out from the back. It's again Stewart and Clancy. That's nice from Stewart. Here's Nathan Beagley on a bit of a run, and he clatters into Matt Miller after getting a little bit of a helping hand from Harrison Linning. Flag is up again over on that far side, and that won't help Adam Edgar's mood. Not one bit. Asking for a little bit of advice as to how far offside he was. Ball was allowed to bounce there, and this could be problems for Brisbane City. Tom Orton was caught. It's still caught up in his feet, and it's held behind by Mark Stewart. Jake Clancy rooted to his line. Once bidden, twice shy, perhaps. Letting the ball bounce allowed Edwards to get in behind, and that was a dangerous situation for Brisbane City's defence to deal with. Still have to account for this corner. Swung in by Waters onto the head of Bolton, back inside, and then the shot comes in from Nikopoulos. The 34-year-old, long-time Townsville local, hit that one fairly comfortably over the bar. Mentioned that Corey Waples, Jared Green, Michael Eisenhut, Jay Urell, Darren Walker all absent today for the visitors. It was due to Corey Waples' wedding yesterday in Townsville. A couple of players have backed up, as it were, from the wedding, but not the full complement. And I'm sure everyone at Football Queensland wishes Corey Waples well after his special day yesterday. I'm sure North Queensland would much rather he'd been here to help them in this match. Here is Beagley being battled by Kyron Waters, but goes back to Bird. Hugo wide to Alton. Alton has Raymond on the outside. Now Kai Bolton. Bolton back inside. Good delivery. It's headed clear though by Kohler. Good work from Richards. Two number threes, Richards and Alton doing battle up front. And that almost onto the head of Richards. Richards is still battling. He's given up the ghost now. Handed over accountability to Harrison Linning, but now Nikopoulos is having to make all the running. City retaining possession well, and that's a delightful ball over to Nathan Beagley, who just about keeps it in. It's played out poorly by Miller, as it turns out. The fact that Preston Hugo couldn't keep it in was not a problem, because Matt Miller couldn't either. Another attacking opportunity for Nathan Beagley, who does use those long levers to great effect in these situations. He'll put this one just on the edge of the 6-yard box. A good throw just over the head of Edgar. Helped on its way out by Linning, and then Linning puts in a late challenge on Mark Stewart. Just a throw in. I know it is a foul, sorry. Did look late on Mark Stewart. Onto the feet of Adam Edgar with the free kick. That's a delightful last gasp challenge by Kohler. It needed to be made. And how about that for a touch from Adam Edgar? Of course, graduated through the Nike Academy. Played in the National Youth League for Newcastle and Central Coast Mariners. Has been at Olympic at the start of this season in the National Premier League Queensland, scoring 7 goals in his 15 games. And he's added 4 in his 5 games for Brisbane City. Failed to score against his former club last weekend though. It wasn't from a lack of trying. He really put the effort in. Just unable to have the desired effect to impress the club that he left. He's been a little bit frustrated so far in this game, but it just showed his quality there with that touch. And showed what a threat he is. Colquhoun just tried to hook that one round the corner, but was unable to retain possession, although North Queensland have come up with the ball now. Kohler, 39-year-old, back playing last few weeks. He's made a big impact. We'll give you the statistics after this move reaches its conclusion. Here's Nikopoulos. Nikopoulos wide to Waters. It gets his way to Waters. He's battled into by Beagley. Now Sibatuara. Sibatuara battles past one. Finds Beagley on the outside. Beagley puts in a teasing cross towards Edgar on the edge of the area. It's still there for Edgar. Still there for Sibatuara. It's hacked away. Beagley with the shot. Just had a stab at it. It's worth an effort. It was very inviting for the left back, but he was unable to score his first goal, what would have been his first goal for Brisbane City Seniors. And what is his 5th start in a row, the youngster from Adelaide. I was mentioning Paul Kohler. He's been involved in 4 games so far, and they haven't been beaten in the last 3 that he's been involved in, and they've only conceded 3 in those 4 games. It's a marked improvement. As that ball just goes over the top by Kyron Waters. Beagley's been impressive going forward, but he was caught out a little bit defensively there. I was mentioning, for a team that have conceded the 4th most in the league at 61 goals now, with the earlier goal to Preston Hugo in the 10th minute here at Corporate Travel Management Stadium, that's given Brisbane City a 1-0 lead. North Queensland have really been struggling at the back, but that has all changed. Beat Redlands 5-1 last week, drew 0-0 with the Raw Youth down in Logan. A week before that, it was their only draw of the season. A vital point, as it may turn out. They did get beaten by Lions by 4-0, but there's plenty of teams have been on the wrong end of the hiding from the league leaders. With 6 points clear, it's certainly theirs to lose going into the final 2 games of the season, ahead of Western Pride. Raymond wins the free kick, being clattered into over on that far side. And Kohler had a 69-game 4-season Hyundai A-League career with Newcastle. He played 48 times for the Jets, and North Queensland Fury with 21 appearances. He played in the NSL as well for Wollongong Wolves and Sydney Olympic, Sutherland Sharks. He returned to the Sharks after his A-League stint in 2010. Played another 33 appearances in the New South Wales Premier League before finishing up at Rockdale City Suns. He was coaxed out of retirement, as it were, to come back to shore up the defence at North Queensland United. As we've already given you the stats, it's certainly been to great effect. Here's Sibatuara. It's nice interplay getting in between the defensive lines. Here's Preston Hugo, the goal scorer. It's a good smothering tackle by Dan Wilsmith. He came up with the ball. And now wants an option ahead of him. Finds Nikopoulos, who is almost instantly in trouble, and plays in Cassidy, who got himself into trouble. North Queensland did well to retain possession. It's hacked up field by Kohler though, and Reece Raymond will deal with that very comfortably. City will build from the back. Here's Tom Alton. Kai Bolton, who's switched wings to the left. He links up with Nathan Beagley. Sibatuara on the right-hand side now, raced into the back of the penalty area. It's going to fall to him. Instead, it's headed clear. It's Tristan Hugo, wide to Reece Raymond. Raymond puts the ball inside. Kohler in the right spot, as you'd expect with a man of his experience. Bird, Sibatuara. Tristan Hugo. Hugo off the back of Waters. Here's Beagley. Kai Bolton would be offside. And he knew it. The assistant knew it. The only person who didn't know it was Nathan Beagley. He played the ball back inside and will go out for a goal kick. Approaching the final 10 minutes of this first half. Score is Brisbane City 1, North Queensland United 0. It's not a result that North Queensland United want or need in their battle for survival, especially after Redlands United picked up that 3-2 win last night at the Cleveland Showgrounds over Magpies Crusaders, and things could get a lot worse here for the visitors as Kai Bolton puts that ball in. Sam Sibatuara, he ends his drought. It's been 5 and a little bit games. With 10 minutes to go before the break, Brisbane City have extended their lead by 2-0, and Sam Sibatuara gets his 14th goal of the season. It's his first goal in 6 games, and he extends his lead in the race for the Golden Boot here at Brisbane City, an award in which he has won the last 2 seasons. Gradient of the slope that North Queensland United are having to climb is getting steeper by the minute. Tom Alton just helps that one on its way away from Richards, who continued to chase. Beagley missed it, but still worked out for City, and you can see how much of an effort, how much of a problem the sun is causing some of the defenders. Here's Kai Bolton back into the middle. Sibatuara again. Is he going to get his second in a minute? He might well, you know. Good save. Edgar's on hand. It's helped away, though. There's a neat effort from Sibatuara. It's like London buses. You wait for one and two come along at once. Over that time, it kept going past the outstretched arm, or foot rather, of Sam Sibatuara. It's going to be kept in, though. City really piling on the pressure towards the end of his first half. Good ball from Bolton. It's fallen for Sibatuara. Sibatuara past 1, 2 goals for Sibatuara. And just like that, City have 3 and Sibatuara has 2. That time the bus did stop. And City, who won 4-0 up at Brolga Park earlier in the season. Sibatuara grabbing 2 on that occasion. Well, history's repeating itself. He's grabbed 2 here just before the break. And history really is repeating itself. The opening scorer on that day was also Preston Hugo. All the goals in that game coming in the second half. City getting the business done a little bit earlier here at Corporate Travel Management Stadium, and worryingly for the visitors there's plenty of time remaining, although this could be an opportunity now for Richards. He's battling with Beagley, trying to force a challenge, gets the ball across. It was over the head of Cade Colquhoun, and Colquhoun looked like he wasn't moving quite as freely as he would have liked. He wasn't able to get possession away from Preston Hugo, and here's Kai Bolton. Kai Bolton shows the outside by Miller and accepts. Here's Adam Edgar to make it 4. It's deflected behind for a corner. suddenly opened up for Brisbane City. They have dominated proceedings quite comprehensively, if we're honest. The defence had been holding firm from North Queensland, but the floodgates have been breached. Brisbane City in the dark blue shirts are pouring forward. And will look to add to their tally before the break. It's gone short. Bolton puts it in, a teaser towards Hugo at the back post. Bird will pick it up, get there ahead of Colquhoun. Here is Tristan Hugo, back to Nathan Bird. Lots of space, but that's a poor pass from Bird. It's picked up by Waters. It's mopped up by Alton. Nice ball from Nikopoulos though, forward. Clancy helps that one on to Edgar. It's headed away by Fig. City will have another attacking platform from which to try and increase their lead before the break. Here's Nathan Beagley with the throw. Hugo hasn't scored yet this season. Lovely ball over towards Sibatuara. The flag went up. I'm sceptical as to whether Sibatuara was offside. He looked like he came round the back of the defender. But it matters not. Sibatuara was unable to keep control of the ball, and North Queensland will breathe once more, although those breaths are starting to come rather rapidly as the situation becomes more and more apparent. Have an incredibly tough run-in. Do North Queensland, they really need to get any point they possibly can from any of their remaining matches as Beagley plays that ball inside. Lovely flick by Kai Bolton to Bird. Bird can't help it across. Sibatuara puts it wide. So close to a first half hat-trick was Sam Sibatuara. It pinballed around in the penalty area. But North Queensland United do still breathe and do still stay alive in this game, just. And it was only by the width of the ball, ever so close, was Sam Sibatuara to getting a hat-trick in this game. Wonderful control on the chest, but hasn't come to a teammate. City will come back again. Here is Sibatuara. Sibatuara goes round the outside. That's excellent defending, though, by Hamish Cassidy. He's done very well to stave off the pace of Sibatuara. He can really get going despite his rather short strides. He's got phenomenal foot speed, Sibatuara, and really gives off the impression of incredible pace. There's another player with incredible pace, Kai Bolton. If he's given an ounce of space, and he wasn't on that occasion, it was cut out and helped away for a throw-in by Matt Miller. Beagley will take. Hugo, back to Beagley, back to Hugo. Over and across to Alton. Richards gives chase, but Alton has so much time and space that he's able to pick out Preston Hugo, who goes back inside to Sibatuara. Sibatuara's in the mood today. He's bundled off the ball there, though, by Edwards. And here come North Queensland, Waters. But it was an excellent read of the situation by Mark Stewart, and City will attack again. That's a neat ball, but Kai Bolton didn't read it, and a little bit more frustration for the strikers of Brisbane City. Well held up by Edwards, using his size to effect. Linning. And that's poor Linning and Cassidy getting in each other's way, and Sibatuara picks the ball up. Pokes that one through towards Reece Raymond, who, despite the physical mismatch, tries to shoulder barge Cassidy off the ball. Cassidy swats him away like a troublesome fly. City do retain possession, though. Clancy to Hugo. Hugo back to Stewart. Stewart to Clancy. Clancy checks. Deceives Nikopoulos and goes wide once more to Alton. Alton to Raymond. Back to Alton. Alton looking long. Edgar wants it long. Never quite falls for Alton though, and Preston Hugo gives the ball away. Just a little bit of a discussion going on over on that far side. Referee Anton Secinin. A little bit of a word with Richard. It'd have to be something that Richard said, you would have thought. I didn't see a particularly late challenge going in on his opposite number, Tom Alton, but may have happened so far behind play that I missed it. Edwards to Waters. Lovely ball towards Richards. Clancy does well. Here's Mark Stewart. Beagley. Back to Stewart. Sibatuara gets those legs moving. Can't make any forward progress though, and goes back to Hugo, who finds Mark Stewart, who plays that ball a long way behind Nathan Beagley, and disappointing way for that move to break down for City. Beagley frustrated with himself. Mark Stewart frustrated with himself. Pretty unfair for Nathan Beagley to be upset. He was in a good position, but Mark Stewart, who's been named as John Cosmina's man of the match in the last 2 games for City on his return to the starting 11, being dropped to the 20s for a couple of weeks. Performed exceptionally well on his return and is in action once again to frustrate and deny Kyron Waters. It will be a corner though for North Queensland. Can they get one back before the break? We're in stoppage time. That's a poor corner from Waters. It's cut out by Preston Hugo at the near post, and that will be half-time here at Corporate Travel Management Stadium. Brisbane City leading by 3-0. It's almost an exact replica so far of how events proceeded up in Townsville earlier in the season. Preston Hugo getting the opener after just 10 minutes. And Sam Sibatuara, who'd undergone something of a barren stretch, 5 games without a goal, the longest of the season so far for him. He grabbed 2 in 2 minutes towards the end of that first half to give Brisbane City a comfortable advantage. He should have had a hat-trick. He headed one narrowly wide of the post when through on goal. City have had plenty of chances to even further extend their lead over North Queensland United, who are fighting for their lives. They're in 13th spot on the ladder, a point behind Redlands United, and they're really up against it here in this match at Corporate Travel Management Stadium. Don't go anywhere. They'll be fighting for their lives. Should be plenty of action and a very open game here in the second half. We'll see you after these short messages.
Football is my favourite. I love playing it with my friends.
When I score a goal, I celebrate and dream of playing for the Caltex Socceroos.
And this is where it all starts, with the Aldi Mini-Roos kick-off program. I grab my shin pads, boot bag, drink bottle and bowl, then join my mates for some fun.
It's great. We learn new skills every week through games and activities. These help us learn about teamwork and respect for others.
My mum cheers me on the sidelines. She loves watching me play. She likes it that football is such a safe sport.
But best of all,
we make lots of new friends.
And if we are lucky, we might run into the Aldi Mini-Roos ambassadors.
Wow, it's Archie Thompson, he's a legend. And Steph Natlick from the Westfield Matildas, she is amazing. Come and join Australia's biggest football program for kids. Come and join us.
I could watch them all day, even though here, you don't feel like you need to. These are the moments I'll remember. You see, to me, it's not so much just having us all together, but finding a place that really brings us together. That's what makes Oaks Oasis special. When you only get a few chances, it's important to make them count. After all, memories don't make themselves.
We swear a lot at Total Tools. We swear by our range. We swear by our service. And of course, we swear by our prices. So you'll know that you're buying at the best price every day. Total Tools. Every tool, every trade.
Football is my favourite. I love playing it with my friends.
When I score a goal, I celebrate and dream of playing for the Caltex Socceroos.
And this is where it all starts, with the Aldi Mini-Roos kick-off program. I grab my shin pads, boot bag, drink bottle and bowl, then join my mates for some fun.
It's great. We learn new skills every week through games and activities. These help us learn about teamwork and respect for others.
My mum cheers me on the sidelines. She loves watching me play. She likes it that football is such a safe sport.
But best of all,
we make lots of new friends.
And if we are lucky, we might run into the Aldi Mini-Roos ambassadors.
Wow, it's Archie Thompson, he's a legend. And Steph Natlick from the Westfield Matildas, she is amazing. Come and join Australia's biggest football program for kids. Come and join us.
I could watch them all day, even though here, you don't feel like you need to. These are the moments I'll remember. You see, to me, it's not so much just having us all together, but finding a place that really brings us together. That's what makes Oaks Oasis special. When you only get a few chances, it's important to make them count. After all, memories don't make themselves.
We swear a lot at Total Tools. We swear by our range. We swear by our service. And of course, we swear by our prices. So you'll know that you're buying at the best price every day. Total Tools. Every tool, every trade.
Welcome back to Corporate Travel Management Stadium. Both teams are quick out the blocks, or have been quick out the blocks, ready for this second half, although there's a couple of stragglers for North Queensland who have made a substitution. Mitchell Marr has come on. I'll have to check who he has replaced. He's wearing the number 6 shirt. And Brisbane City get things underway, kicking from left to right in this second half. Nathan Bird on the ball. Bird harassing Kyron Waters, who puts in a decent ball up towards the new man, Marr. Marr is being challenged by Nathan Beagley, who's excellent in an attacking sense in that first half. Didn't have too much to do in terms of his defensive duties, but was more than up to the task then. And here comes Kai Bolton now, over on that left-hand side. And that's lovely from Kai Bolton. Lovely individual skill. And he goes past another North Queensland United player, but then That's an unfortunate way for it to end. Goes out for a goal kick, which will be taken by Dan Wilsmith. If you have just joined us, Brisbane City are leading by 3-0, and a pattern almost exactly the same as how they scored in the corresponding fixture up in Townsville. Preston Hugo getting the opening goal, in this case after just 10 minutes. Sam Sibatuara, he ended a barren run of goals by scoring 2 in 2 minutes, the 35th and 37th minute. Hamish Cassidy goes down. Foul was given by Total Tools referee Anton Chechinin. So it's almost exact replica. It was almost an exact replica. That's exactly how the order of the goals that City scored up in that 4-0 victory up in Townsville. So if you're a betting person, don't bet on Jamie Dimitrov to score the 4th goal. He's not in the senior squad this afternoon. And it may well be North Queensland who get the 4th goal in this game. It was hacked away. This is much better start to the second half for the visitors, and it's well kept in there by Cassidy, but decided not to chase that hopeless cause and keeping it in on the goal line, and it'll be a goal kick taken by a cap-wearing Jake Clancy. Jamie Dimitrov played in the under-20s match for City against Lions preceding this game and copped a rather nasty blow that split his chin open. It's quite a nasty wound. If you saw Jared Hayne yesterday, wrapped up like a mummy, it's exactly how Jamie Dimitrov ended the match. So even if he wanted to, he'd be told he would not be able to play any part in this match for the seniors, but he wasn't in the side named by John Cosmina anyway. Owen Thomas, though, he is on the bench, having played in that under-20s match, and he scored an absolute worldie from all of 30 yards. A thunderbolt, low-driven shot that went in off the post. And that was City's second in that 4-1 victory against their rivals, and a tempestuous encounter that surely bodes well for the rivalry if those players progress through into the senior team. Here's Bird receiving the ball from Hugo. Beagley's offside, flags up on this near side. Beagley's not very happy with the decision. I dare say the Brisbane City coaching staff would be fairly unhappy as well. Beagley over on that far side looking across the line, should probably have been able to keep onside in that situation. It's a nice ball towards Colquhoun. Colquhoun has Richards in the middle, tried to go himself, but it was well cut out by Reece Raymond, and still there though for North Queensland United. Here's Linning. Linning up against Raymond. Raymond does well, and then Tom Alton clears up the scraps, and it's Kai Bolton who leaves that one for Bird. That's a nice piece of skill, and Kai Bolton, the hands go up. Well onside though, played on by Miller. Edgar's in the middle. Sibatuara almost waltzed towards that ball, whereas if he'd attacked it, perhaps it would have presented an opportunity to strike at goal, but North Queensland escape, and we'll have the defensive throw-in over on that far side of the field. Will Smith had to stretch for that one. It was a poor pass, and Kai Bolton can't get his foot onto it, and receives it back though from Matt Richards, and Matt Richards battles well. That's excellent from Matt Richards. He has options, particularly on this far side with Colquhoun. Colquhoun races onto it, gets to the byline. Good tackle, Reece Raymond. That's a really good tackle from the City right back. Now Sam Sibatuara helps this ball upfield, although Tom Alton will be the man who gets it up towards Preston Hugo, who keeps it in, but at the expense of turning over possession to Miller. And here comes Linning. This is much better from North Queensland United. They need to battle. As Richards and Edwards get in each other's way there, that would be disappointing for the coaching staff at North Queensland United. Michael Brooks. Sibatuara gets A little bit of a late challenge from Cassidy. Play on, says our Total Tools referee. And Preston Hugo lets that ball get away from him after the challenge of Linning, and City will be forced back into defensive duties as North Queensland United build from the back. Well kept in off the substitute Marr. City have attacking throw-in through Beagley. Bird gives it back, or Teats attempted to give it back to Beagley, instead gave it to Kyron Waters, or he turned it over to Stewart, and here comes Beagley once more. Slightly overran that one this time, and here's an opportunity now for North Queensland United. It's a really open start to this second half. That's a glorious ball to Richards. Well defended by City in the end. Here's Colquhoun. Colquhoun puts a cross in towards Waters over on that far side. Waters and Beagley battling. Waters comes out on top. Here's Edwards on the edge of the area. Preston Hugo getting a vital touch. It's still there though at the back post for Colquhoun, just over his head. He needs support. There's none really forthcoming, and Reece Raymond does excellently over on that near side and gets his ball across to his centre-back Tom Alton, and City are able to clear. Tristan Hugo to Raymond. Raymond rides a couple of challenges, rides a third challenge from Nikopoulos, but coughs up possession at the same time, and then Waters can't get that ball through to Richards. Queensland United perhaps sensing an opportunity. Matt Miller coming from deep to make that header. Well, it was a fruitless effort in the end. No red-shirted player able to get on into the end of it, and City will take a deep breath and look to clear, get themselves back into this game as Bird comes deep to claim the ball. No pressure on him really until Robin Edwards managed to get his skates on. Bird skips away from two challenges, Edwards amongst it. The other was Linning. Here's Sibatuara. Sibatuara, a glorious ball over the top for Kai Bolton. Kai Bolton's through on goal here. Bolton gets the shot away. He was under all sorts of pressure from Mitchell Marr. That's a good opportunity for City, who've had to be on the counter-attack somewhat in this second half. North Queensland United making the most of the running in these early stages. Have a question on the Football Queensland Facebook page from Anderson Wright. City wearing their away strip for logistical reasons today. In their traditional light blue. So not on an assumption that North Queensland were going to be in their own light blue home strip. They're in the away strip of their red with the yellow trim. North Queensland just in dark blue, I'm told, for logistical reasons. So I hope that answers your question. Anderson Wright, do get involved in the conversation on the Football Queensland Facebook page and of course across social media at FootballQLD on Twitter and Instagram. You can see all the behind the scenes action from our live stream matches, as well as all the news from around the state in the National Premier League's Queensland men and women's matches and the Football Queensland Premier League. Another important destination is footballqueensland.com.au. Lots of in-depth interviews and features, previews, reports of all the matches across the three leagues that Football Queensland administer. And of course, coming up to finals, it'll be the only place to find information about finals football. The two number threes again, Tom Alton and Matt Richards, getting a bit of a tangle there. Tom Alton coming out on top with the assistance of Clancy. Edgar coming deep to claim that ball. It's picked off by Edwards though, and here is City though, through Preston Hugo. Preston Hugo teases that ball across and it was comfortably dealt with. The wind has died down in this second half. It was really howling from right to left in the first half. Has calmed significantly, but it was misjudged a little bit there, and Colquhoun makes a hash of that first chance. Still there though for North Queensland United, and it's Reece Raymond who helps it out for a corner kick. As mentioned, the wind has died down. It looked like Tom Alton completely neglected to account for it, and he has managed to survive that error, only in as far as North Queensland getting a corner, which Matt Richards will take from this near side. Scored a hat-trick last week, did Richards. It's onto the head of Edwards. It's still there for North Queensland United. Falling for Colquhoun. Colquhoun with the turn, with the shot. It's off the back of Tom Alton. And now a poor touch by Cassidy allows Tristan Hugo to come away with it. And now Tom Alton plays that one off the back of our Total Tools referee, Chedin. It's worked out for City though. Here's Bird. Was Kai Bolton offside? He thought he was. As North Queensland prepared to make another substitution. Massamango Benjamin will be coming on, the 18-year-old who also scored last week in that 5-1 rout of Redlands United. Keep our eye on the sideline, see who he replaces. But North Queensland, they may be 3 goals down, but they're well in this encounter in the second half from Corporate Travel Management Stadium. That's a decent ball as well through to Waters, but it was well cut out and well read by Mark Stewart, who has been excellent throughout this encounter so far. Kai Bolton forced back towards his own goal, finds Stewart. And Stewart chips it across to Hugo. Beagley. Both City players were offside, Sibituara and Edgar. Edgar's still offside. Ball doesn't find its way across to him because Sibituara coughed up possession. North Queensland hand it straight back to Reece Raymond. Raymond back inside to Tristan Hugo. Hugo pulls the strings and puts that ball over the top to Bolton. Almost fell for Edgar, but it was hooked away. That's poor control though by Linning for Sibituara to capitalise on. Here's Preston Hugo now. Sibituara makes his way into the box. Raymond is back to receive the ball. Preston Hugo back to Stewart. Stewart tries to play the miracle pass to Edgar. It does find its way through to him via the foot of Edwards. Wide to Beagley. Beagley with the cross to Sibituara just over his head. It's still there for City with Preston Hugo. Hugo with the cross to the edge of the area. Nathan Bird. It's off the back of Robin Edwards. And Bird has scored a spectacular goal here in the National Premier League's Queensland this season. One of 2 that he scored over the course of the year. So we do see that substitution being made, and it's the number 14, Cade Colquhoun, who is coming off. Had a couple of good opportunities, did Colquhoun, to reduce the deficit. Michael Brooks, North Queensland United coach, deeming it that Massamango Benjamin may make better use of the opportunities that are coming North Queensland United's way in this second half. They do need to get their foot on the ball though, and they've coughed it up far too regularly during this game, and something that Brisbane City have been able to capitalise on. Hugo rises highest for that one against Robin Edwards. Tom Alton does well under pressure from Edwards. Does go down though. Play on. Here's the call. Here's Bird. Beagley is on the outside, but does use him. Ball comes in towards the near post. It's a bit of a nothing pass though from Nathan Beagley. He wasn't able to put one of those delightful curved balls onto the head of Adam Edgar, who's been quiet, it has to say, so far today, despite City's attacking dominance in this game. Preston Hugo to Sam Sibituara. Sibituara turned up a blind alley, and that alley was cut off by Linning, and now Cassidy, who grabs a crossfield. That's a good ball through to Waters. He was shepherded away though by Tom Alton. Here's Hamish Cassidy again. He appears to be everywhere in this second half. North Queensland left back. He may well have to be. Here's Edgar. Just bundled off that one, and then Matt Miller helps it away. Beagley goes to deck under the challenge of Kyron Waters. It is a free kick. Stewart goes back to Clancy. Lovely ball by Beagley towards Bolton. He wins a corner off the foot of Matt Miller. Meanwhile, I think it is Paul Collar who's gone off for North Queensland United at half-time. Sorry to take so long in getting that information to you. But Brisbane City haven't had the ball in their attacking third, so my attention hasn't been drawn to the new makeup of the back four for North Queensland United, or are they going to get a thorough examination now, you feel? Kai Bolton just delivers that ball towards the edge of the penalty area. City do retain possession though. That's good work from Nathan Bird. Tom Alton has to ride a challenge. Hugo to Reece Raymond. Raymond just uses his body to deceive Massimo Benjamin. Hugo to Hugo, now Bird. It's a poor pass from Bird towards Edgar, and now it's 2-on-1 at the back in favour of Brisbane City, and then Matt Richards had his arms all over his opposite number, Tom Alton. And there's a free kick to Brisbane City. Tom Alton on the ball once more. Tristan Hugo drops back to receive that one and then plays it overhead of Nathan Bird. It's sloppy from City. They appear to be comfortable in their standing in this game. They lead by 3-0. It was a goal from Preston Hugo in the 10th minute of the game, which opened proceedings, and then 2 from Sam Sibatuara with 10 minutes to go in the first half. Is that a handball from Tom Alton? It doesn't matter. The shot from Waters was fairly comfortably dealt with by Jake Clancy, and that's a glorious throw from Clancy. Lovely distribution from City's teenage keeper towards Sam Sibatuara. Sibatuara goes wide to Nathan Beagley. Excellent transition play from Brisbane City. It's a deep cross from Beagley. His radar has not been quite up to scratch so far today. That one's out for a throw-in that Hamish Cassidy will take. Benjamin was dispossessed by Raymond, but then the ball deflecting off Preston Hugo. It'll be a North Queensland throw. They crab themselves upfield on this near touch line. Hugo gets the better of Linning there. Now Hugo linking up with Edgar. That's neat interplay between the pair and a little bit of frustration. It did come off Preston Hugo. It'll be, as you were, a North Queensland throw on this near side. Now Richards getting a little bit of advice from his bench. He may need it because Kai Bolton is just dispossessed by Mitchell Marr. It's a good, vital intervention from Marr. Needed to be made, that tackle. And that's one for Nathan Beagley to run onto. Marr is there again though, and he plays it back to Will Smith, who launches that one high, doesn't even get to halfway. Will be met by Tristan Hugo. Does just enough, but it's going to come straight back for City. Kai Bolton was offside. Looks like Nathan Bird is going to get a yellow card here. I don't quite think the free kick has been to be taken from where Kai Bolton had been flagged as being offside by Taryn Richards on this near side. Nevertheless, that's our first caution of the day. A rather needless one, you'd have to say, and perhaps slightly pedantic, if I'm allowed to say. Hammered upfield by Beagley towards Edgar. Edgar Wins for first ball, wins for second. He's under a lot of pressure, but does well. Excellent link-up play from Edgar. Here's Sibatuara, has a bit of space. Rhys Raymond is busting a gut to get into the penalty area. He does well. Raymond has Benjamin all over him. Still delivers across towards Bird, who swings at air after the touch by Marr. It's a good touch by the substitute. Ball's going to come straight back in. Marr gets another head to it. It's bouncing across to Preston Hugo. Sibatuara on the edge of the area now for City. Here's Preston Hugo. Edgar gets a deflection off Fig. Now Raymond. City retaining possession. Preston Hugo. It's a deep ball. It'll find its way across to Beagley. Beagley takes a touch, delivers it to the near post. Will Smith had to make a save, and it's still there. And it's flashed across the face by Bolton. Some consternation as to whether that free kick should have been given, but City have played on, and here's Kai Bolton. He's put his skates on, but was well watched by Will Smith. Bird. Side to Hugo. He dallies on the ball though and has his pocket picked by Richards. Once again, North Queensland turned it over, the two Hugo boys combining. Beagley, wide to Kai Bolton. Bolton wants support. Finds it deep from Preston Hugo. Beagley, Bolton. Bolton. Still with Bolton, wants an option. Doesn't have one, just looks to go deep. May end up going himself, but he gets himself caught, does Kai Bolton. No support for City. And now an opportunity for Benjamin. That's excellent pace from Benjamin. Gets in behind Rhys Raymond. Raymond does well to get back. Has lovely skill from Benjamin, who goes down. And then the shot comes in anyway from Waters. In the end, it was good defence from Brisbane City. Big shout for a penalty. Mango Benjamin. Just waiting for our stream up here to catch up so I can check the replay. It looked like a good challenge initially. I'm getting some looks in the media box here. Perhaps it wasn't. Nevertheless, that was the decision of Anton Shetenin. How's that for a touch from Benjamin? Lovely skill from Benjamin. He's been a real live wire since he's come on. And then Matt Richards puts that one wide of the post. North Queensland United are really impressing here in this second half, and you wouldn't expect them to be the team that are 3-0 down, but that is the situation they find themselves in. And they are fighting for their lives, the team from Townsville. They need something from this match. Their next couple of games doesn't get any easier, but here comes Sam Sibatuara. This makes things very difficult. Sibatuara didn't get enough of a touch. Will Smith didn't have to move, just bent down and picked the ball up. Rhys Raymond gets caught. Benjamin miscontrolled initially, but showed electric pace. He's a real live wire. There's Masamango Benjamin, the 18-year-old. He scored last week against Redlands as well. His 4th goal of the season. City need to inject a little bit of pace and impetus to this game. Preston Hugo tries to do just that. Here's Nathan Bird. Bird wide to Beagley. Beagley looks for his options in the middle. There aren't any 10 feet tall Brisbane City players, so they go over the head of all of them. A quick throw taken on this near side. Something else for Benjamin to run onto. Interesting jump from Linning. Doesn't come out for him. Here's Sibatuara. Gets around the wrong side of Cassidy. Edgar with the header, took it off Kai Bolton in the end. Still there though for Bolton. Bolton puts in a teasing ball again towards Edgar. It's defended away. Tristan Hugo now to Preston. His younger brother goes past one. Right on the edge of the area. Hamish Cassidy gives away a free kick. There's a little bit of a discussion going on. Theo Nikopoulos not overly happy with that decision. Sam Sibatuara and Nathan Bird both fancy themselves from this position. Sam Sibatuara wants to atone for that miss at the end of the first half that would have given him his hat-trick. Nathan Bird returning to the starting 11 after a period off the field through injury. Just wants to make his mark as well. Take your pick. It's Sibatuara just over the top. Going to see our first substitution of the day, and it's Scott Halliday who'll be coming on. In fact, it's going to be a double substitution from John Kosmina. Scott Halliday and young Kai Fechner coming on. It'll be Tristan Hugo, who's been impressive today, I thought, who comes off, and in fact, it's going to be two Hugos leaving the field. His brother Preston leaves the field as well, the goal scorer, the opening goal scorer in this game, with his 6th goal of the season that gave Brisbane City the lead. And it's very much like for like, although you would say Brisbane City now a lot less physical in the middle of the park. It's not the case at the back, as Tom Alton proves, giving away a free kick on Robin Edwards. Scott Halliday has been involved in every single game for Brisbane City this season. It's only the 3rd time he's come on as a substitute, though. He's been a starter in the 20 games prior to this, as a substitute in the first 2 games of the season, as that free kick could have been left by Alton. Wasn't, and Beagley helps it inside to Kai Fechner. Fechner on the chest to Kai Bolton. It's helped away by Linning. It's out for a throw-in though, over on that far side of the field. Under 20 minutes remaining in this game. Brisbane City leading by 3-0. No score in this second half. Nathan Bird. There's 2 North Queensland United players around him. Still manages to come away with the ball. That's good work from Nathan Bird. Lost its original intended target. The ball ends up at Kai Bolton's feet, and now Nathan Beagley, who gives away a throw-in and then throws the ball away a little petulantly. Beagley. Beagley goes down. Free kick is given. City had retained possession, but will welcome the opportunity, I'm sure, to deliver a ball into the box off the foot of Scott Halliday. Be his first involvement in the game. Awkward one for goalkeepers this, an awkward position. Put it in towards the back post. Do they stay or do they go? Adam Edgar lurking. The height of Nathan Beagley as well, arriving late. It's aimed towards Edgar, but it's headed wide and away by Robin Edwards. It's a good tackle by Tom Alton. Waters has gone down, but looked like Tom Alton got the ball at first viewing. Anyway, here's Edgar. Lovely touch from Edgar. Cuts that ball away from Cassidy. Didn't quite fall for him though. Goes back inside to Halliday. Halliday to his fellow substitute Kai Fechner. Now back to Edgar. It's a cross that's far too deep, but still work out for City. Here's Nathan Beagley. Now Nathan Bird. Bird chips one towards the back post. Still there for Edgar. Almost stayed still there. Couldn't believe his luck. That's a better ball. Kai Fechner. He's only been on the field a couple of minutes, but that's City's 4th goal. Teasing ball by Adam Edgar, but Kai Fechner gets City's 4th. Remarkably, that's his 4th of the season in just 5 games. In the 76th minute, Brisbane City have taken an even greater lead in this one, and North Queensland United, well, you'd have to say this is another game that has escaped them, staring down the barrel of what will be their 17th defeat of the National Premier League's Queensland season. It's a full-blooded challenge there by Reece Raymond up against Linning, but North Queensland do come away with it. But now Sabituara picks up the ball, and Sabituara cuts back inside, skips past a couple of challenges, has to ride them from Linning and Hamish Cassidy. Sorry, apologies, it was Masamango Benjamin. Kai Bolton had to check his run, heads it back inside rather hopefully towards Sabituara, but never found its intended target. It's an untidy looking chest of a ball by Linning. Worked out for North Queensland though. They will have a throw in over on that far side. Kai Fechner is being described as a ghost by John Cosmina, and he ghosted in there to steal the ball from his opponent. Kai Bolton's cross results in another corner kick for Brisbane City. Sabituara trotting over to take it. City not really in any rush, although Nathan Beagley jogs towards the edge of the penalty area. Sabituara with a teasing ball. It's flapped at towards Adam Edgar. Oh, it's helped off the line. Edgar can't buy a goal at the moment. He does everything that he can, and then there's always a foot in the way or a trailing body. That was good defence from North Queensland. They backed off and got themselves on the line. And Edgar, who has scored 4 goals in 5 games, this being the 6th for Brisbane City, is getting a little bit frustrated with his lack of luck in goal. Sabituara's offside and Beagley puts it over anyway. The flag went up. City have tried that a couple of times so far this evening. It hasn't really worked out on any of the occasions. Nice ideas as they keep getting caught offside. Contest there between the 2 number 3s. It's been that way all evening. Tom Alton and Matt Richards of North Queensland in the red shirts. Here they are again. Sabituara who comes out with it, but Nikopoulos comes away with it. Free kick is given though, and we are going to see a substitution. The final substitution for Brisbane City. Kai Bolton is the man who makes way. Been good in patches. It's his first start since Redlands on 6th of July. That remarkable 5-5 victory, and Owen Thomas, who has already played 45 minutes this afternoon for the under-20s in their 4-0 win over Lions, will come onto the field, and has to be said, Owen Thomas scored an absolutely spectacular goal in that game as well. From all of 30 yards, belted a low drive in off the far post. It's a stunning effort. We'll be looking to replicate that in the last 10 minutes or so of this match. Thomas making nuisance of himself, but Edwards comes away with the ball. Nathan Bird chases it down, and Kai Fechner does the same thing, gets his body in the way, but it's picked up by Richards, but intercepted by Bird. And here comes Kai Fechner inside to Owen Thomas. Thomas goes over the head towards Sibatuara. It was a poor mistake from Mar. Sibatuara racing into the penalty area. Cross was far too deep for Kai Fechner. The right idea. A wrong execution from Sibatuara, who has scored 2 goals this evening. He now has 15 for the season and is way ahead in the Golden Boot standings for Brisbane City. A slip from Miller. Owen Thomas tried to capitalise and then chases down his defender and forces the loose pass. Sibatuara with the turn, that's neat. Beagley was fouled, referee was playing advantage. Link up play from Thomas. Sibatuara inside to Halliday. Halliday looks up, looks for an option. Tried to play in either Rhys Raymond or Kai Fechner. But now that ball from Alton is picked off by Benjamin, and Benjamin has pace. We've seen that before. He was lively since he's come on, been quiet since then. I mean, really gave up on that one far too quickly and far too meekly. Did the young substitute. He's just 18 years old, is Masamango Benjamin, but needs to show a bit more strength than that. He races towards the back post now. It was cut out before it got to him, though, by Rhys Raymond, who's been impressive at right back for City so far. Kai Fechner to Scott Halliday, and Halliday gets caught. No free kick. Might have half lost his shoe, has Scott Halliday, and he's still struggling with it. A shot comes in the end anyway from Linning. Worth an effort, but a long way out, and it was well watched all the way onto his chest by Jake Clancy, who has dispensed with the cap. Bird just lets the ball do the work on its way through to Nathan Beagley. Scott Halliday still struggling with his boot. Kicks the ground in disgust. Looks like it's on now. Here's Bird. Look at the space for Nathan Bird to pick a spot. The spot he picks is Sam Sibatuara. Lovely touch from Sibatuara, take it away from his man. Here's Owen Thomas. It almost threaded back through towards Sibatuara. And now Scott Halliday gives away a needless free kick on Nikopoulos. Nikopoulos is still down. Might have corked his thigh there. An untidy one. He'll be sore on their flight back to Townsville this evening. They're leaving pretty much immediately following full time and heading to the airport. It's a real smash and grab without the grab for North Queensland United so far today here on our Sunday session at Football Queensland. Good header on by Edwards to Richards. Benjamin, sorry, with the initial header. City playing the ball out on the edge of their own penalty area to get the ball upfield. It's Halliday. Beagley. Inside to Bird. Beagley continues his run in a haphazard way. Finds its way to him now. Mark Stewart. Halliday. Back to Clancy. Six minutes remaining in this game, plus stoppage time. There won't be a whole lot of that you wouldn't have thought, as Tom Alton does well to get to the ball ahead of Robin Edwards, and then Robin Edwards concedes a free kick and in a tangle of limbs. Shows a little bit of his frustration in what has been a frustrating afternoon for North Queensland United, who will make their final substitution. Lachlan Kennedy, another North Queensland junior, came through the Fury ranks. And he's going to replace the hobbled Theo Nikopoulos. 34-year-old, very slowly making his way to the sideline. That looks like a nasty one on his left thigh. It's Raymond just shaking his hand on his way off, and Lachlan Kennedy does come on eventually and takes his place over on the far side. Alton gets things underway. City pick up the loose ball though in the midfield despite the clearance of North Queensland United. Bird. Beagley. Owen Thomas gets in behind. Lovely touch from Owen Thomas towards the head of Adam Edgar. It's taken off his head by Cassidy. Edgar stares at Hamish Cassidy in disbelief. He had to wait for it and waited a little bit too long. Corner taken short to Halliday, Sibatuara, and there's a shot coming in from Owen Thomas. It's out to Nathan Bird. Bird's under pressure from Waters. Bird does well, uses Tom Alton in the end. Alton plays it through towards Kai Fechner, and Fechner goes down in a tangle of bodies with Miller. No harm done. All is played back upfield by Will Smith, right onto the head of Mark Stewart. Heads it back. He picks up the ball again now, Stewart, and now it's Beagley. It's been good today, Beagley, particularly in his attacking role. Scott Halliday just shows a clean pair of heels to his opponent. Sibatuara doesn't get onto the end of it first time, but after good work from Thomas, does find himself in possession. Thomas again, lovely link-up play from Thomas. Beagley in support. He wins a throw-in over on that far side. Would have preferred a corner, you'd have thought. City continuing to press, looking for this fifth goal. Support of some helpful spectators. Plays that ball back inside off the footpath. Beagley unleashes another long throw onto the head of Owen Thomas. It's still there for Owen Thomas, so it's hacked away. Only as far as Nathan Bird. Bird receives it back from Stewart. Off the head of Cassidy. As far as Benjamin. Benjamin to Cassidy. Cassidy gets caught under his feet somewhat. He's forced to go back. Walters got there ahead of Raymond, but Scott Halliday's there to disrupt, and now Sam Sibatuara has switched wings once more. Sibatuara. It's a delightful teasing ball back inside. Owen Thomas with the shot across the face. Edgar still keeps it in for City over on that far side. Curls it towards the back post where Sibatuara's waiting. Sibatuara back across towards Edgar. It's just the two of them at the moment. Well, finally, the North Queensland United defence get involved and hack the ball away to safety. Jake Clancy on his way to collecting his fourth clean sheet of the season, although he was assisted in one of them by Finn Matheson at Lions, of course, in that 1-0 victory in the Brisbane Classico that we brought to you on the Football Queensland Facebook page and YouTube channel. Went off injured in a dramatic game at Richlands. City have used 6 goalkeepers in the senior side this season due to injuries and various fill-ins. Lovely ball from Scott Halliday over the top to Beagley. Beagley does well. It's fallen to Sibatuara. Sibatuara just pokes it in. Another chance goes begging for City. They could have really filled their boots this evening, you feel. Had things gone their way and they've been a little bit more ruthless in front of goal. There's still time for more though. Kai Fechner gets rather overrun by Kyron Waters. And now Cassidy goes forward towards Richards. Still there for Cassidy. And that will be full time. Very little injury time played at all by our Total Tools referee Anton Chechenin. And that is full time. A comfortable, comprehensive victory for Brisbane City. They led early through Preston Hugo, who scored in the 10th minute, and then with history repeating itself, Sam Sibatuara grabbed the next two in exactly the same fashion as City scored the goals up in Townsville. It was 3-0 at the break, and then North Queensland really came out firing. They had to, and they do have to keep fighting and firing if they're to stay in the division next season. They remain in 13th spot. They were unable to get themselves on the goal scoring sheet today. Jake Clancy keeping his 4th clean sheet of the season. Kai Fechner added City's 4th just moments after coming on in what was an impressive late cameo from the 17-year-old. The North Queensland United defeat here does them no favours at all. We'll have a quick look at the bottom five places in the league. Magpies Crusaders, as things stand, are on 25 points. Southwest Queensland Thunder, in fact, have leapfrogged Magpies Crusaders into 9th spot, in fact, with their win today on 28 points. They beat Sunshine Coast by 2-1. Redlands United are in 12th. Their win yesterday against Magpies Crusaders, who are in 11th on 25 points. Redlands United 5 points further back on 20 points, ahead of North Queensland United, who have 19. The run-in for those 4 teams at the bottom, will discount Sunshine Coast, who have already been relegated, is pretty tough. North Queensland United, well, they play Strikers up at Rolga Park next weekend before travelling to potentially a premiership chasing Olympic in the final game of the season. It's no easier for Redlands United. They travel out to Ipswich next weekend to take on also premiership chasing Pride, and then host Lions. Doesn't get much tougher than that. Southwest Queensland Thunder, you'd have to say they probably have the easiest run-in on paper. They take on Gold Coast United and Cairns. Magpies Crusaders, they host Brisbane City up in Mackay next week before travelling down to Perry Park to take on the Strikers in the final game of the season. Plenty still to play for in the National Premier League's Queensland. Strikers' defeat last week pretty much confirmed that the top 4 will be made up of Lions, Western Pride, Olympic and Moreton Bay United, though Moreton Bay of course lost last week and head down the Gold Coast later this evening. Kick off there in 10 minutes or so time. Brisbane City, they stay in 6th spot but move a little bit closer to Strikers in 5th. Just 7 points behind them now. They won't catch Strikers, of course, with just 2 games remaining. But they have the opportunity to perhaps be kingmakers in the final game of the season when they host Western Pride. Thank you very much for joining me on this Football Queensland live stream. It's been a double take Productions for Football Queensland. And we look forward to seeing you in our next live stream next week. Check out footballqueensland.com.au and at footballqld for all your information as to which games will be live streamed and of course which games you can head on down to if you're in the area. Thanks very much for joining us on the Football Queensland live stream Sunday sessions. We hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday evening. We'll see you next week. Bye for now.